guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very fun video to share with you. I've been doing a ton of like decluttering and KonMari and cleaning type of videos on my channel, which is a little different for me, but it's kind of taking over, and I definitely wanted to do something that's more fun and makeup related today. It's been a while since I've had just like makeup related video. So I was thinking about what I could do, and one thing that I've been wanting to share with you guys for a while is my top 5 favorite palettes. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you want to see what my top 5 favorite palettes are, keep on watching. So the first palette, I'm going to get the most obvious one out of the way first of all. So a couple of these are things that everybody talks about, and there is a reason people talk about them because they are amazing. The first one is the LOreal Pro palette. This is the original Pro palette. I love this palette. It is gorgeous. There are so many beautiful shades in this palette. As you can see, I've hit pan on a few of them. It's just beautiful. The whole top row is all matte shades and the bottom row is all shimmer shades. But it's extremely versatile. And they're just creamy, they're blendable, they're pigmented. I cannot say one negative thing about this palette. I love this palette. It's also very compact and very sleek, which I really appreciate for storage. It makes it super easy to store. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's also super easy to travel with. It is a $42 palette, but you are getting 16 different shades in here, which I think is an excellent value. And even though the pans are relatively smaller, it still takes a very long time to go through any one of these individual ones. I've used this thing to death, and I've only hit pan on 2 of the shades so far. And I still have quite a lot of product left on both of those shades as well. So I do highly recommend this palette. I think if you were only to buy one high-end palette, this is the one that I would buy. If I could only buy one, or if I lost every other high-end palette in my collection, this is the one that I would want to make sure was saved. Number 2, another predictable one. So this is the original Naked palette from Urban Decay. I find this one is far better than the second or third. I do like the Naked Smoky palette quite a lot as well, but I just feel like this one, as far as versatility goes, is hands down the best palette that they have made. Also, you get some great shades in here. There's a mix of mattes and shimmers. There's just so many in this kind of mid-tone brown, which is just such a go-to shade that you can create so many looks just from this palette. And I'm not really a fan of the brushes that come with these palettes, but the shadows themselves are amazing. They are so pigmented, so creamy. Blendability is on point. There's not really, again, anything negative I can say about these. There's a little swatch right there of one of the shades. They're just incredibly well formulated. This palette is a little bit more, so you get 12 shadows in here, and the price is $54. The pans are slightly larger than the pans that you get in the Pro palette, but you don't get as many shades either, and that's why the Pro palette for me is just a little bit better than this one. But again, it's still just an incredible palette. And if you're a makeup addict like I am and you like to have versatility in your makeup palettes, this is a must-have. So now I'm going to move on to a more affordable option. So this is the Revealed palette from Coastal Scents. I own quite a few of the Coastal Scents eyeshadows. The ones in the Revealed palettes I like a lot. I'm definitely going to have to say the Revealed 3 palette is my least favorite of all of them. It is a little bit chalky and it's not as well formulated. The second one is some of the shades are good and some are not as good, but this palette is just incredible. It is definitely a dupe for the Naked palettes, probably like a dupe for the Naked 1 and maybe even the Naked 3. There's a lot of those kind of rose golds in there. But you actually get 20 shadows in here, and the size compared to the Naked palette is pretty similar. I just want to open this so I can show you. The individual shades that you get are pretty much the same size as the ones in the Naked palette. They're just slightly smaller. But you're getting 20 shadows in here. And if you go to the Coastal Scents website, it does say that this palette retails for I cannot talk. It does say that the retail value on this palette is $39.95. However, it is just about always on sale for $19.99. So you can pretty much find this on their website for $19.99 at any point. But they have some gorgeous shades in here. Again, these are just like everyday kind of shades. Things I just went ahead and swatched one right next to the one from the Naked palette. They're creamy, they're blendable, they're pigmented. Again, everything that you're looking for in a beautiful palette. And the price on these is just great. Okay, so the next palette I'm going to talk about is actually a little bit of a smaller palette, but this is from Buxom. They just came out with these palettes. This one here is called Dollies Wild Side. They also had a matte or a nude version of this palette, and they have a build your own. I definitely like the idea of the build your own, but this palette is the pre-built one. That's the Dollies Wild Side, and I love every single shade in this palette. I've been really obsessed with pinks and some cranberry colors and things like that, and you get all of those in here. This is just a beautiful palette. I absolutely love this shade on the end here, which is kind of a beautiful kind of shimmery pinkish purple. That's it right there. It just looks stunning on the eyes, and I've been wearing this a ton. But the pigmentation and formulation on these shadows is just incredible. Just a little dip in of your brush in the shadow, and you pick up what you need. I mean, you don't have to build these up at all. They just go on so pigmented and just gorgeous. There are two mattes in this palette. This one is more of a satin finish here, and then the rest are shimmers, but they are gorgeous, like I mentioned, and you should definitely try these out. If you're near Sephora, take a look at the Build Your Own, because I feel like that's a really great way to incorporate some of these shadows, and like I mentioned, they just have such a great formulation. And then the value is really good. So you get 6 shadows in here, and it's $40 for the pre-built palettes or for the make your own palette. So if you wanted to create your own, it's the same cost. So I feel like it's a really great idea. I love the fact that you can pick out your own shades and build your own. And then the final one that I wanted to mention is actually a MAC palette. This is the MAC Warm Neutral palette. You get 15 shades in here. I believe this was $75 or $85, I cannot remember now, but you're getting 15 shadows that are almost full-size MAC shadows. That is a really, really good deal. I believe their individual depotted shadows are $12 right now, so if you do the math, this is a steal. And just look at the shades that you get in here. There's absolutely beautiful shades in here. Again, it's a mixture of mattes and of shimmers. This shade right here is gorgeous. Here is great for blending in. It's just a really, really nice kind of flesh-toned matte shade. And this one right here is Amber Lights, which is one of their most top-selling shades right there. And it's just a gorgeous copper, so beautiful. But I find that whenever I have this out, I can create so many looks with just this one palette, and it's one of those palettes that you could just own this palette and not need anything else, which I think every single one of these I mentioned, maybe with the exception of the Dollies Wild Side, are those types of palettes where if you owned this, you really don't need anything else. And they're just beautiful. I mean, look at these shades. They're absolutely gorgeous. They all complement each other so nicely. And, you know, MAC shadows, the formulation on them are just really great. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this quick video, just my top 5 favorite palettes. If you have a favorite palette that I did not mention, please leave it below. I'd love to hear what you guys are using and what you guys are loving. And have a beautiful day, you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.